Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I'm going to go over and give you a guide to the skill nodes in the Doom Raid. This is the most challenging section, but it is a lot more doable now with Kestrel. So let's talk exactly about what teams you're going to want to use. And I will tell you one thing that's going to be a constant in all of these three nodes. You're going to want to use Red Guardian. You're going to want to use Night Nurse. Okay, she is absolutely vital to use, and you want her right next to Red Guardian. And the reason you want her right next to Red Guardian is because her passive gives her defense up and speed bar whenever she gets low in health. So she's actually somebody you don't mind getting lower in health. Then you're going to put Kestrel here. What we're going to do in these last two spots depends on what node we're on. The first node is easy, so I actually recommend just using like Corvus and Proxima. And the reason why is because you actually want to make sure your cooldowns are up for the next two nodes, which are way harder. You could also use Black Widow and Hawkeye here, or any two other characters, as long as you have enough damage. You want to make sure that you get enough damage out of those last two spots so you can kill everybody. Kestrel is going to make this node very, very easy for you on this first node, but you want to make sure you have all your cooldowns for the next node. We're going to use a special team for the next node that will make the next node a lot easier. Okay, and that's going to involve a lot of control. The second node is actually, in many ways, the most challenging node. We will talk about how to tackle that in a minute. The goal here is just to make sure that we have good health on our three characters that matter here. All right, so first of all, what I do is I use the special right here, no problem. Then what you do is you use the special, not the ultimate from Kestrel, and look what it does. Boom, puts defense down on everyone and just erases a lot of them. And then look at this. We're going to use that, and then there you go. Like I said, it's trivial. So now I usually just do slow here, and I do an ability block on the blob and steal his offense up. And then we can just sort of, I do this. We have immunity so she doesn't get slowed by blob. And then the rest of these characters can just do that. Okay, and so it's just really simple stuff. There we go. We have the defense down. And then there you go. And she pings. And this is just totally trivial. Now, this fight used to be challenging. But really now, you don't even need your characters to be very big. As long as you have a geared up Kestrel, you're fine. Now, one thing you do notice, of course, I'm using G15 characters. And this is content that's meant to be run with G15 characters. Can you use lower characters? Yes. You can use a G13 Red Guardian as long as you have them at about level 75 or so. You can use a low star Red Guardian. I know people who have 3 and 4 star Red Guardians who've survived okay. But really, you're better off getting a big Red Guardian. Now he's farmable in the arena store. Getting a big Night Nurse. She's an easy farm. And getting those characters geared up because they really are the ones providing the sustain. Now, the second node, you really, really need control. And you need the cooldowns on these characters. So you want Taskmaster here and Zemo. These are characters that you may not have built up. Are there alternatives you can run? Sure. Black Widow and Proxima can work. They don't work as well, particularly because Taskmaster has the blind. You may be asking yourself what T4 is, by the way. I really recommend the ultimate on Taskmaster for the having more bleed damage and the extra blind. I recommend the special and the passive. If not, and the ultimate's nice to have for Zemo. I recommend all the T4s on Kestrel, all but the basic on Night Nurse, and then the special and passive on Red Guardian. But this is the key one here. This is the one where I think a lot of people can make mistakes. So you can wipe your team. And you really need to have control up front. It can be a little tricky because Rhino can cleanse blind. So blind is a key way of making sure you have enough control here. And for example, there's going to be a flip that comes very early on from Doctor Strange, and you really want to make sure that you avoid that flip. There's also going to be, for example, there we go here. So I actually, you can either ability block X23 or Negasonic. I find X23 to be better to ability block because she could sometimes erase a character inadvertently. And then what I do here is, once again, do those defense downs on these characters. And then, I used to focus on putting the blind on Strange. And if he's not going to die, you can do that. But here, I just do the blind on Negasonic because I know that Strange is going to die. And then this means that I avoid the Negasonic heal blocks, which is just fantastic. Now what I do is I'm going to use the special here to cleanse and call an attack on Taskmaster, which is very nice. All right. And then what we'll do here is, I think we're going to do the taunt on Taskmaster just because. And you see now that Zemo's removed the buffs there. And this has become a very trivial battle here. So now the key enemy you want to focus on is going to be Ironheart. Although I will say that, she is easily going to be defeated now that you have Kestrel. All right, let's get some more defense downs here. You do have to watch. Daredevil does get rid of debuffs, so you do have to be concerned about that. Here I'm going to aim at Daredevil just because otherwise when he gets a turn he's going to eat my debuffs. Okay, so now he's erased. All right, we're just going to keep aiming here to get the pings from Kestrel. Like I said, having a big Kestrel makes this very trivial. All right, I mean, she just enables you to do well in the skill section. And you can see here I'm literally just using basics to save cooldowns at this point. It really doesn't matter. All right. I could have been a little bit more careful and gotten that extra health with Night Nurse. I know she's a little bit low in health here, but it's not so bad. All right, so now the boss node. Now this node is very challenging, but Kestrel has made the node a lot easier. But really what you really want to have is Nick Fury with her on this node. He really enables the node here. So what you do is you keep the same 3 characters as before. I'll do this a little bit of health, probably not necessary, but we're doing a video. I want you to see the full effect here. So what you want to do is now I put Nick Fury in this spot. And if I had Colleen built a little bit bigger, Colleen is actually best in this spot right here. And you know what? Let's test it out with Colleen. But I usually use Black Widow. But I've been told by one of my alliance mates in EP that he's done better with Colleen. So let's have some fun. I do have T4 all in Colleen. With I will say with Nick Fury, you do need the special and the ultimate. Excuse me, not the ultimate. I'm sorry. You need the ultimate and the passive T4 on Nick Fury. You want to make sure, for example, that you get the assist nows. And you also want to make sure that you get that extra summon. Every summon means more pings from Kestrel. What Colleen brings to the table, by the way, is just a lot of damage, and her bleeds and so forth, even more damage. So I have T4 all on Colleen. Okay, so you're going to summon right here. All right, that's really helpful. Now I actually aim for Mystique here initially, and we get all of them have the defense up. All right, and then you go all in on Doom, and it's just purely pinging here. I'm not sure whether I'm so used to running this with Black Widow, but we're going to try it with Colleen for fun. All right. All right, we do that because it's slightly more damage. Once again, slightly more damage. Now my Nick Fury is only G14. I'm sure he's even better at G15 here. All right, we're going to. There we go. All right, just more pings, more and more and more. We don't have the ultimate, which is what I usually use to erase Doom here. But we're going all in on Doom. All right, getting the buffs up. on the team. Once again, just getting more pings from Kestrel. That is getting it done here. I don't even think I need to use the special because the ping will get it done. All right. Now we'll just eat the ultimate from Maw and focus on Cyclops. All right, let's see if we can get that going here. Let's see. Oh, all right. Able to get it done. All right, getting a defense down in Cyclops. That's huge. All right, getting everyone healed up. You can see just how survivable Red Guardian is. It's absolutely huge here, right? Let's see. Okay. Let's try to erase Ebony Maw. All right, we will continue to focus on, there we go, we'll do this. That's what Colleen brings to the table. Wow, right? You can see that. It's definitely a little bit dicier in terms of you have to watch your damage a little bit with Colleen versus when you have Black Widow, because Black Widow, of course, is also doing things like making sure that you have speed up and cleanse and all of that. But you could see the damage that Colleen brings to the table is very significant here. And you do have sustain in the form of Black Widow and Night Nurse. Now, look, I would ordinarily want to control both She-Hulk and Psylocke. I don't have quite as much control as I used to have with I used to have that stun from Black Widow. I don't have that at this point, but that's okay. All right, we're going to get those summons out now, and we'll go right back to, all right. Yep, it's all about just getting the pings. Now, I should say that Inep has something like a 6 red star Colleen, so that makes a difference versus mine. Okay, let's get these buffs here. That's going to help a lot, getting the speed up and so forth. Namor, you're just weak. All right, let's do this here. All right. Oof. Look at all those bleeds. That's nasty. Whoa. Dang. All right. All right. Well, we lost somebody there in a form of Red Guardian. I'm not that concerned about it. The issue here is basically going to be the timing out, and that's what really Colleen's supposed to help with. Is supposed to, wow, you could see how very close I am to doing this without timing out. Now, obviously, it's not as clean. I will tell you this, I have never failed on this thing before in terms of having any losses ever since I've had Kestrel, but this is the first time ever that I'm running it with Colleen. Okay, so I'm going to quit out. We got 3 seconds left anyway, so I'll quit out of this one. And I will show you, we'll go back in and I'll show you the team as it is ordinarily with the way I usually run it. I thought that this was kind of a fun thing to try out. Usually I run it with Black Widow, which totally transforms the fight because Black Widow is going to be bringing, she brings a lot to the table here. I put her in the center, and then I put Kestrel here, and then here I'll just heal the rest so you can see how this is supposed to work. Whoops. And this is the team kind of as it was originally constituted. I have trouble with my level of red stars and frankly my level of skill just getting the one shot off. I usually comfortably two shot it, but as you can see, I don't have a big enough Colleen wing. Mine's only G14, and only it's only 5 red stars only, but it's not these hyper red stars that people are using to get the one shots. But nonetheless, I think you're getting a sense of how you tackle this. Once you get past the first pieces of it. You burn down Doom. You get past that Cyclops, who I really don't want to ult if you can help it. And then Maw, it's pretty much over. You don't want to focus Maw too much, and that's one mistake people have. They get totally obsessed with Maw, and that's not necessary. So now that you have Kestrel, this is easy. With the last one, I was trying very hard to not time out, and so it's going quickly, but you don't need to bother with that now. There we go. So now we're just going to get those pings from Kestrel, and we're good. I mean, I don't even know why I'm bothering here. We don't really need to bother, but it's fine. All right, guys. So this is really what you need to do here. I mean, this is definitely, and you also, by the way, you want to think about prepping the cooldowns for Kestrel, because she is useful in the tech nodes, which are going to come later in the lane. So if this is I'm on the left lane, at least they come later. You always want to be mindful of, do I need Kestrel for another piece here? But it gives you a sense of how to beat each of the nodes. This was a 2-shot. It's a little messy. Candidly, it's the first time I've ever used Colleen, and I thought that would be fun to do in a video. But this gives you a sense of what you need to do and what you need to build in the skill nodes. Now, you may be saying to me, well, it's great that you have all these characters, Philosopher, but I don't have them all geared up. What's the budget way to do this? And I think really the budget way to do it, and the way I had done it for a long time, was to build up Red Guardian, Night Nurse, Zemo, Taskmaster, and then you can use one other character. You could even use Proxima if you already ever geared, but now I guess that would be Kestrel. So if you have Zemo, Taskmaster, Kestrel is necessary now, and everyone's getting her for free anyway and should be gearing her up. Red Guardian, and you have Red Guardian, Night Nurse, Kestrel, Zemo, Taskmaster. That will get you through that second node. And you can use that on the boss node. It's just not nearly as good as using Nick Fury. And so it is what it is. You won't one-shot, but if you do the right, if you take your time and are careful about it, you can get it in 2 shots. And so you'll do 1 shot in the first node, 1 shot in the second node, and you will do a 2 shot in the boss node. The difference is, you're going to have to be very careful on your first node to make sure that you have all your cooldowns up so you don't screw up the second node. So you're going to have to really be careful on that second node, or excuse me, on that first node, to make sure your cooldowns are ready. And then on the third node, sometimes you're going to have to heal. Now, I did that anyways. This was a bad example because, like I said, it's the first time I ran Colleen. But, it generally, when I use it with Black Widow in that spot, it's very smooth sailing for me. Of course, I have a very big Black Widow, much, much bigger than my Colleen, which is down here. But anyways, this gives you a sense of what you need to build. Most important character, Red Guardian, most essential. Doesn't need to be this big, however, but it sure helps. Night Nurse is absolutely essential as well. You absolutely have to have all 3 T4s. This T4 gives you a second heal, a turn available on turn 1, so you have 2 turns, 2 turn 1 heals. This one's a cleanse of 3 characters. This cleanses her. And then, of course, this is absolutely valuable in giving her speed bar and defense up. All right, guys, if you like this video, smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel. Check out our Discord. It's linked below. We have lots of discussions about Doom Raid and the best teams and all that. And, of course, also check out our Twitch stream. That's linked below as well.